For 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Next, Savannah Carpenter. Parents are Jessica and Julio Castillo. Savannah plans to attend DMAC for 2 years and then go to a 4-year college. This is Savannah's first year as a cheerleader. Her favorite wrestling memory is cheering with her friends. Savannah Carpenter. Next, we have Katie Hightower. Parents are Tabitha Lindholm and Erica Lindholm. Guardians Cecilia Miller and Sherry Miller. Katie plans to attend DMAC and get her Associates of Arts degree, and then go to Iowa State School of Education and become a teacher. This is Katie's first year of cheering. She is on the honor roll and is active in silver cord. Katie Hightower. Next, Megan Morano. Parents Tim and Molly Morano. Plans to attend Iowa State to major in business. Megan has been a wrestling cheerleader for 4 years. She is active in Silver Cord, National Honor Society, and is a student ambassador. Her favorite wrestling memory is cheering at state. Megan Morano. Next, we have Mia Ram. Mia's parents are Laura and Andrew Leon. Mia plans to major in chemistry on the pre-med track at the University of Iowa. She's cheered for 3 years at Valley High School, active in Silver Cord in the National Honor Society, a certified nursing assistant, and will be graduating with an Associates in Arts and Associates in Science. Her favorite memory is coming up with new cheers last season. Mia Rand. Managers, JC Davenport. Parents are Darcy and Nathan Davenport. JC plans to attend Iowa State University and major in STEM. JC has been a manager for 2 years and has received 3 academic awards and is active in Silver Cord. JC's favorite wrestling memory is junior year at the state and making friends through wrestling. JC Davenport. Next, we have Lexi Jemison. Parent Rob Jemison. Lexi's been a manager all 4 years of high school. Lexi's post-secondary plans are undecided. Lexi's been a part of the Silver Cord Best Buddies and received academic awards. Lexi's favorite wrestling memory is working guys out on the air-down bicycle with Cobb's Workout and making some of the toughest guys puke. Lexi Jameson. Next, we have Gracie Susich. Parents Barry and Paul Susich. Gracie plans to attend Iowa State University and study psychology and nursing. Gracie's been a manager all 4 years and is part of the 2019 State Softball Championship team. Gracie's favorite wrestling memory was watching the team beat Yankee Centennial to go to the state duels last year. Gracie Susich. And now our senior wrestlers. Jay Cooley. Parents are Jeremy Cooley and Ashley Walker. Jay's post-secondary plans are undecided. Jay has wrestled for 4 years and all 4 years of high school. Jay wrestled varsity as a junior until his season was cut short with a broken ankle. Jay's favorite memory was wrestling at the state duels, and his advice to younger wrestlers is to go off-season practices and lift weights. Jay Cooley. Next, we have Caleb Corbin. Parents are Sean and Amy Corbin. Caven has wrestled for 11 years, has been a 4-year starter for the wrestling team. Caleb has been on the honor roll 3 times, is a 2-year starter on the baseball team, and has finished 4th, 3rd, and 2nd at the state wrestling tournament. His favorite wrestling memory is making the state finals last year, and his advice to younger wrestlers is to be tough. Caleb Corbin. Next, Dylan Folacaro. Parents are Amber Folacaro and Todd Hall. Dylan has been wrestling for 5 years and will be a 4-time letter winner in wrestling. Dylan placed 3rd at districts at 106 as a freshman. His favorite wrestling memory is going to state duels, and his advice for younger wrestlers is to fall in love with the grind and always listen to Coach Cobb. Dylan Folacaro. Next, Brian Hirado. Parents are Esther and Efrain Hirado. Brian wrestled for 6 years and was a state qualifier last year. Brian's favorite wrestling memories are going to Nebraska team camp and qualifying for the state wrestling tournament. His advice to younger wrestlers is, you get what you work for. No matter how big or small, everything is mental. Brian Hirado. Next, Laura Kipnusu. Parents are Bernard Kipnusu, Leslie Valaquez, and Christine Atina. Laura plans to attend a 4-year university and major in criminology, law and justice, and biochem. Laura plans to wrestle or play rugby in college. Laura placed in the top 12 at the girls' state tournament last year and is currently ranked 8th at 145 this year. Her favorite wrestling memory is wrestling her teammate and going into overtime. Her advice to young wrestlers is to never give up, no matter how difficult, it will benefit you in the future. Laura Kipnusu. Next, Brett McCabe. Parents are Elaine and Scott McCabe. Brett plans to go to college and become a conservation officer. Brett has been wrestling for 5 years, and his favorite wrestling memory are winning his first varsity match and seeing his brother Jack qualify for the state tournament. Brett's advice for younger wrestlers is to lift, run, and repeat. Brett McCabe. Next, Jack McCabe. Parents, Elaine and Scott McCabe. Jack plans to attend Kirkwood College. Jack has wrestled for 5 years. Jack qualified for the state wrestling tournament last year, and his favorite wrestling memories are winning a match at the state tournament and telling Coach Lowe, I want to go on bottom even though I was only behind by 8 points. Jack's advice for younger wrestlers is never forget your headgear at practice or make Coach Cobb mad. Jack McCabe. Next, we have Chris Ryberg. Parents are Ron and Janet Ryberg. Chris plans to join the Army and then go to Iowa State. Chris wrestled for 4 years as a youth, but this is his first year in high school. Chris's favorite wrestling memory is pushing himself every day at practice, and his advice to younger wrestlers is to be patient in learning and to be explosive. Chris Ryberg. And finally, Levi Schultz. Parents are Matt and Zola Schultz. Levi plans to attend a 4-year university or serve a 2-year mission trip for his church. Levi has wrestled for 4 years and was a varsity starter last year. Levi wrestled at the state duels last year, and his favorite wrestling memories are wrestling for varsity and forming bonds with his teammates. Levi advice for younger wrestlers is to work hard and don't tear your meniscus your senior year. Levi Schultz. Let's give a hand to all of our seniors.
Chevy bonus cash, plus GM card bonus cash, plus Conquest cash, plus you can redeem your unused cyber cash at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. And we have new inventory arriving daily. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
Obsessively, relentlessly. That's what you can always expect, even when faced with the unexpected. It's a service we take seriously, providing comfort in the rain, tools to help you save, a helping hand along the way, and from a safe distance away. Delivering the energy you need while going the extra mile. Regardless of the times, our team remains committed to you.
Central Bank opened its doors in 1877 and has been proud to call Iowa home ever since. For more than a century, our family-owned business has worked hand in hand with friends and neighbors across the state to make their dreams a reality. Come visit us at our new location on Hickman and Waukee and see how Central Bank can make it happen for you.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Chevy Bonus Cash, plus GM Card Bonus Cash, plus Conquest Cash, plus you can redeem your unused Cyber Cash at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. And we have new inventory arriving daily. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
For 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
From West Des Moines here at Valley High School, tonight's CIML wrestling duel between West Des Moines Valley Tigers and the Urbandale Jayhawks. I'm Cody Goodwin here on CISN TV with Coach Keith Borness. We're going to be with you through tonight's duel between the Jayhawks and the Tigers. A couple of schools, Coach, that have not done a lot of wrestling this year because of the whole fully virtual learning rule that was enacted, and I know that December was really a long month for both of these squads, but got a handful of their matches under their belts now. We've been able to see both teams in tournament action and a handful of duels here and there. And with the state tournament, we're 30 days out from the state tournament, less than that from the postseason. Tonight's very important just as another opportunity for these kids to compete, right?
It really is. You take a look at, we're in mid-January, and they're looking at Valley is 3-4, and Urbandale's 5-5. You're usually closing in on having 20 matches, 25 matches meets already, instead of just the 10 that they have had. And also, both schools have had several, most of theirs, 5-5, 3-4, and then each of them have had a tournament or two where either they didn't keep score, like Valley was at Johnston on January 2nd, or Urbandale just finishing fourth here last weekend down in Bettendorf. So they're teams that have to come in mid to end season form, and we're still in the beginning of the season form.
Yeah, very, very strange season, very strange year, right? As it's been, we're coming up on 12 months now into this pandemic, but these kids are getting the opportunity to compete. There seems to be a pretty good crowd here tonight to watch tonight's duel, and I think they're going to be treated to a pretty fun one. We're looking at the bout sheets right now that both Urbandale and Valley both handed to us pre-match, and Urbandale with a couple of opens, a couple of ranked kids. Valley also a handful of ranked kids here. Some we might see at their usual weight, some we might see at a different weight. What should we expect tonight? A handful of pretty fun matches, I think, on the way. But it looks like Valley might have a little bit of the upper hand here, just kind of looking at these bout sheets.
Well, yeah, as you take a look at it, and in talking with both coaches, it's a situation where one team comes in and says they need to do what they're going to do, and we can certainly finish this up when we come back from our break.
We will take a break. We'll be right back on CISN TV.
For With 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford. DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. Without question, the COVID-19 pandemic created many disruptive changes in our lives. Some of us got sick, jobs and income were compromised, it was difficult to even spend time with family and friends. But one thing hasn't changed, and that's Westside Auto Pro's commitment to quality service, and that will never change. We're here to make sure you get maximum performance and reliability from your vehicle. So as we all move forward, keep Westside Auto Pros in mind. You've been through enough. We'll make sure your car is the least of your worries.
From Urbandale, a senior, Mason Sherwood.
Welcome back to West Des Moines Valley High School, where we've got the Valley Tigers wrestling tonight against the Urbandale Jayhawks. CIML action. Cody Goodwin here on CISN TV with Coach Keith Borness. We're going to take you through tonight, starting at 170 pounds here between Valley's Chase Hutchinson and Urbandale's Mason Sherwood. We were talking before the break, Coach, just, you know, it seems like maybe based on the lineups that these guys have out here and Urbandale having a couple of opens here, that maybe the Tigers probably have the upper hand tonight, but you know, there's a lot of matches here, and maybe this is a good place to start. That, you know, do we label them swing matches where maybe, you know, if either team wins, maybe there's some momentum built here, and, you know, maybe the Jayhawks could overcome two opens.
Well, absolutely. You know, because you take a look at both coaches. Coach Marino is a fantastic coach. Congratulations to him as he just got his 300th victory this past weekend. But, you know, right now, both coaches will tell you we kind of have a pretty good idea what's going to happen at each weight. And so Valley has talked about just making sure you win the matches you're supposed to win and don't give up bonus points in the ones you're not.
Yeah.
This match right here that we're starting at is going to be a great match, as it is certainly a swing match.
Absolutely. Sherwood strikes first with a quick takedown there on the edge. We're about a minute here into the first period. Doing a good job. Has a boot in on the right side, but now it's out. And I'll tell you what, you mentioned Urbandale going to Bettendorf just this past weekend. Pretty tough field out there. Waukee was out there, another CIML team that very good squad this year. They actually outscored top-ranked Waverly Shell Rock out there at that tournament. Class 3A, Bettendorf finished third, and then Urbandale coming in, really nice fourth-place finish. They've got guys that compete, and you mentioned Mike Moreno getting his 300th career dual victory. You know, he's a guy that's been around for quite a while. I know he took some time off to watch his boys compete at Iowa State, and, you know, now he's only recently come back. And I'll tell you what, the work he's done in the short time since his return, his guys battle, and you know you're going to get a battle all 6 minutes with an Urbandale wrestler. They
do, and, you know, when I was talking to Moreno before the meet tonight, I asked him a question about how did the pandemic affect him. You know, he was dealing with a situation. He didn't even talk to his kids until December 23rd, and he still wasn't sure who was coming out until the 28th.
Oof.
So, you know, he kind of started out a little bit slow, and he just said, listen, fellas, control what you can control and be grateful we have a season.
Absolutely. Well, hey, from one wrestling fan to another, I am very glad that we have a season. You know, not even that. I mean, obviously I write for the Des Moines Register. Sherwood takes a 2-0 lead here into the second period. Did a good job fighting off, you know, potential reversal position there maybe from Hutchinson. Yeah. But, you know, I think people who might be listening have, you know that I cover wrestling for the Des Moines Register, and I'm a wrestling nut, just like most of us here in this building. And I am super glad that we've got a season. Just, you know, really, as Hutchinson gets an escape there to make it 2-1 less than 10 seconds into the second. You know, not even more so just for my job, but I'm sure you as a coach, just getting the opportunity to guide these kids and give them something normal in a year that's really been anything but normal, right?
Absolutely. And we all know there isn't another sport like it.
Oh, 100%.
You know, just the mental toughness that people go through to be, number one, a part of the team, and even the excruciating pain at times to be great at it.
Absolutely. 30 seconds here into the second period. 2-1 lead for Mason Sherwood, 170 pounds. First bout here between Urbandale and West Des Moines Valley.
Sherwood's done a really nice job controlling the tempo of the match. Hutchinson really hasn't even had a shot attempt yet.
No, he hasn't. I mean, Sherwood did a good job riding out there through that first period. Hutchinson, it was a good adjustment there to get this escape. And now he's getting his hips back. He did a good job grabbing the ankle. Could he turn this into his points? He does. 3-2 lead there for Chase Hutchinson as we're midway into the second period, and an excellent mat return.
Got to do it again.
That was a good response, I thought, from Sherwood to excellent mat return, but then be able to bounce right back up and fight hands and immediately get out. And, that could have been a real momentum changer, but instead it's 3-3 with 45 seconds left.
Hutchinson did a great job. And there's his first shot attempt of the night. Hutchinson, talking about the mat return, that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
You have got to get your hips lower than your opponent's and get his feet off the ground, because if he's got a foot left on the mat, he's not going to go down very easy.
Well, and especially for a guy like Hutchinson, who's a little bit taller, a little bit lankier at 170 pounds. I mean, that is something he's really got to kind of dig his hips in underneath to be able to pick Sherwood up and take him to the mat. 20 seconds left here in the second period. We're tied 3-3. Excellent bout here to start tonight's duel.
I think it's exactly what the coaches expected. Naturally, both wrestlers would like to think, no, I'm better. But, yeah, we got a great bout going here.
Mason Sherwood, a senior, 8-6 overall coming into tonight. Hutchinson, a junior, 5-9. We go to the third period, tied 3-3. Sherwood's going to go down. And this is where that not only the escape after getting taken down in that second period, but the takedown plus the ride out in the first, I think could really help Sherwood here, at least give him an advantage, because an escape gives him a 4-3 lead. But another good mat return there from Chase Hutchinson. And again.
And, the other thing about returning your guy to the mat, you also got to make sure you don't have your hands locked. You don't want to give up a silly point on a penalty. So nice job by Hutchinson as he's working for that far side cradle.
It definitely looks like that second mat return of this period, at least, third overall. That was able to keep Sherwood flat. Sherwood coming up, though, but you nailed it. Looks like he might have a cradle locked up.
Oh.
Sherwood fighting hands, and we'll go neutral for the final minute 20. Sherwood takes a 4-3 lead.
What an outstanding battle that was. I was a little bit nervous for Hutchinson, as it looked like he was maybe going to try and do a suicide roll on that, and thought better of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was usually my go-to, because I'll tell you what, coming from Missouri, opponents don't usually think that the suicide cradle's coming, and you can catch them off guard, get a quick 2, maybe even the pin, if they're not ready for it. We're under a minute left here in the third period. Sherwood with a 4-3 lead, but Hutchinson, very game here, fighting that underhook, taking ground.
Great shot there.
Another shot. He got a little extended. Sherwood able to capitalize. That gives him a 6-3 lead. He's got to be feeling pretty confident after that.
And also knowing that there haven't been any stall warnings yet. So
that's key for Sherwood, because if they're able to go back neutral, he could dance a little bit instead of wrestle. But he looks like he's got Hutchinson flat right here, controlling wrist, doing a good job just keeping his hips flat as we hit 20 seconds left.
Hutchinson maybe looking for a last little bit of a flurry here. Sherwood doing a great job countering, going down to that single.
It was just good awareness there to stay on the edge instead of just, trying to maybe spaz out a little bit and square up from Sherwood. We threw a seatbelt in real quick, and then he dropped to the leg there to kill a little bit more clock. We got 8 seconds left here in this first bout.
And it does appear, as far as these toss-up matches, the swing ones, Urbandale does get the score on the first one.
Final score 6-3 for Mason Sherwood. That takedown in the third period iced it. Jayhawks out to a 3-0 lead after one bout.
Next at 182 from Urbandale, a junior, Alex Elfin. For Valley, a senior, Jake McCabe.
We're moving up to 182 pounds. That's for Jack McCabe for West Des Moines Valley. One of the seniors being honored tonight, senior night for the Tigers, and he'll be wrestling Alex Elfin, a junior from Urbandale, once we figure out our table situation and input the correct names in track wrestling. Right?
That's right. McCabe has had a very optimistic start to the season, as he is a returning state qualifier. He certainly would like to get back to the state meet. The road not easy, and certainly tonight, right now on paper, McCabe maybe a favored wrestler in this. Talking to Coach Marino before we got started tonight, I asked, what is it going to take tonight for you guys to be successful in this meet? And he said, we have to win what we can, but we got to look for some upsets.
Could this be one of them? We'll find out. Jack McCabe, very credentialed wrestler, as you mentioned, returning state qualifier, 6-3 to start this year. Elfin 4-7, a little bit of a tougher road here. You know, if you're McCabe and this is a match you feel like you should win, for the Tigers, you probably want to maybe get on your horse a little bit quickly here in the first period, and if you're the Tigers and you know you can win this match, probably got to be thinking bonus points, or at least have that at front of mind, right?
Absolutely. You know, McCabe is one of those guys that likes to control the head and control the arms and then try and get a shot in there, which he attempted, but Elfin did a great job fighting it off.
Well, there he goes, dropping into a little bit of a dump. He was able to keep that elbow, pops his head out, and we got a 2-0 lead here for Jack McCabe. Not even a minute into the first, but he kept the leg, too.
Yes.
We see how important that is, crossing over, and he's going to do more than just two. He might get the fall here.
He needs to turn that head away and look away from him.
And there's the pin, just 53 seconds of senior night pin for Jack McCabe.
Winner by fall from Valley, Jack
And the
McCabe.
bonus points that Valley needs and actually expected in this match.
There you go. That makes it a 6-3 Valley lead, only 2 mats in.
For Valley, senior.
And at 195 here, Tristan Irvin is going to get a forfeit at 195 as it is an open
this
weight
is
class.
One of the two
Urbandale.
weights for Urbandale that they're going to give open. So that's 6 more points for the Tigers.
You know what I'm going to do right now then, if we have that real quick open weight for Urbandale and a victory for Tristan Irvin.
220 for Urbandale.
Got to do a shout out quick.
Team
I'm going to
at Valley.
go ahead and say happy birthday tonight to Owen Johnson. He turns 8 years old today.
Hey.
So Owen, congratulations. Great family. Great family. It's got sister Adrian and brother Marcus. Great family, the Johnson family. And, you know, there is that chance, Mom being a dentist and all, I could be getting a COVID shot from her someday. So get ready for that.
Oh, we like that. We like that. Happy birthday, Owen. We're moving up to 220 now after the open at 195. Believe this is Jay Cooley for West Des Moines Valley. He'll be wrestling Colton Team from Urbandale. Tigers now out to a 12-3 team lead after the pin from Jack McCabe at 182 and then accepting the forfeit at 195. If you're the Tigers, you got to probably be looking at this this nice little momentum swing here and trying to maybe capitalize on it moving forward, right?
Well, absolutely, because this is going to be a swing match, as we talked about earlier, and after that big pin and getting the crowd fired up, Cooley, who typically wrestles at 195, bumping up to 220, he's going to want to get something done here tonight on senior night as well.
You think this could be the case of, maybe Valley coach Travis Young bumping him up to try and, just give him another match and give him a little bit more experience as we kind of close in on the postseason here?
Well, absolutely, because Jay does have a very bright future and has done some very nice things here. He's pretty even right now at 8-7, but to have the opportunity to go against Colton Team, who's 10-4 on the year, this could be one of those great confidence builders.
Well, and I tell you what, I got to watch West Des Moines Valley wrestle Southeast Polk earlier this year, and Polk ran away with the team score, but there were a handful of really, really good individual bouts, and Jay Cooley was one of them. At 195, he was wrestling Draven Woods, if I remember correctly. Draven Woods got out to, I believe it was a 3-0 lead, a takedown in the first and escape in the second, and Cooley came right back. Takedown before the end of the second period, scored an escape in the third to tie it, another takedown, ultimately got the pin in that match, scored 6 big team points there for the Tigers. The Rams, again, ran away with the team score, but a great match showing his gas tank and just resilience overall from Jay Cooley. So we know that this is a guy that, come the third period, if it's still a close match, he's still going to keep coming. 2-0 lead here as we approach 10 seconds left in the first period. The crafty little takedown and, pretty basic ride here, just doing a good job of just controlling hips and, doing a good job hand fighting and, just kind of ensuring that team kind of held all of Cooley's weight.
Mm-hmm. Cooley did do a nice job as he didn't have the leg hooked in, but he was in that position where if he'd have had more time on the clock, we could have expected a leg hooked in the crossface to try and get some team points like we had just seen with Jack McCabe.
Absolutely. Start the second period on our feet. Jay Cooley with a 2-0 lead. A little bit of a size difference here. Colton team, a little bit of height, maybe a little bit of weight on Jay Cooley. But here, Jay Cooley in on a shot, does a good job hanging onto the leg, switches to a double on the edge and another takedown.
Excellent job there. Team did a great job trying to fend it off, but it just ended up on his backside just a little bit too long, and Cooley able to come back up and score that takedown.
Yeah, well, team looked like he did a good job initially trying to fight hands, but Cooley just kept coming, right? I mean, he got one hand to the leg, was able to get two hands to the leg, switches off to the double, and then really good awareness there. I don't know if that was by accident or just by the way the motion went, to be able to turn there on the edge and finish inbounds. Now he's looking at a 4-0 lead. You're up 4-0, about midway point in the match with about a minute 15 left here in the second period. Are you thinking bonus points at this point, or if you're the coach on the sideline right now, what's going through your mind as you're watching Jay Cooley wrestle right now?
Well, right now I'm just hoping that doesn't happen. As you want your guys to stay back. You got to keep your weight back, especially when you are outweighed. You have to keep that weight back. And Cooley just started riding a little high, and team did a great job just kind of flipping the hip and dropping Cooley in and getting the reverse on that.
Well, it looked like that may have been, if there's an example of a little bit of a weight or a size advantage, team may have taken advantage of that there, but Cooley, again, with that gas tank and that motor, comes right back. It's a reversal himself, and, now it's a 6-2 match with 30 seconds left here in the second period. Got that 4-point lead again. Let's see if maybe he learned his lesson from the first time and not getting too high.
Nice job on the crossface here, because he's got that hard. That chin is really tight over his shoulder. He's going to be looking here for the butcher. Team doing everything he can to fight that off.
Team using those long limbs to kind of grab Cooley's legs, but Cooley looks like he might be able to muscle him over. One swipe, two, so he will get back points, but how many? Ref holding two as we come to the end of the second period. Excellent period from Jay Cooley, taking an 8-2 lead into the third.
Now, I think if you were to script it out in Cooley's mind, this match would have gone a little bit differently to this point, but the result on the board is right where he wanted to be.
Absolutely. Taking a 6-point lead in, scored another takedown. He's clearly winning the battle on his feet. Gave up a reversal, but was able to get it back, right? And then he was able to get to his offense there. Was able to stay kind of where he needed to be, so he didn't give up another reversal and was ultimately able to get 2 back points. Team doing a good job here first 10 seconds of the third period trying to keep Cooley flat. And this is maybe where the size advantage is maybe in team's favor a little bit, but he's got a little bit of work to do as we come up on 100 seconds left in the match.
He does, and Cooley's just got to make sure that he controls the hands and keeps those team high on him. Looks like Cooley's going to try and come out the backside.
Team using the length of his legs to try and keep Cooley at bay here, but Cooley, if he keeps coming toward the head, he might be able to find an angle to pop out. We'll see how long the ref lets him work.
Well, this was really anybody's match right here.
Oh, defensive pin right there for Jay Cooley.
He kept the back of the head, his arm in that half Nelson, and as he was kept moving, he was also pulling the head underneath, and he was able to get that pin, stacked him up.
Excellent stuff there from Jay Cooley. Another third period pin. I just need to watch him more often, I guess, because every time I watch him, he scores third period pins. 6 more points for the Valley Tigers. What was once a 3-0 Urbandale lead is now an 18-3 Valley advantage as we head to 285, 5th match of tonight.
Brian Urato, the senior for Valley, currently ranked 6th in the state. He's got a 12-1 record, and Grayson Else, the junior for Urbandale, sitting at 2-4.
Another senior here for Valley. It is senior night for the Tigers. Brian Gerardo, like you mentioned, ranked 6th in the state at 285. Real deep field, I think, at 285 this year if you're looking statewide. And then Grayson Ells, a junior, another one of these guys that, just not a lot of matches under his belt, only 6 coming in. This is one you got to think, if you're Travis Young, head coach of Valley, you're probably thinking bonus points. You're probably thinking bonus points pretty quickly in a match like this, right?
Yes, because, with Brian Urato, he has shown the last couple of years that even when the chips are down on him, he sometimes comes up with a big move. And hopefully his senior year, when he goes after those big moves, it doesn't hurt him like it has occasionally in the past.
Well, and I tell you what, just the state of heavyweight wrestling as a whole, and you follow this sport in the same way that I do, athletes at heavyweight, at 220 at the high school level, because that's not a college weight, they're getting a lot more athletic. And so you're seeing a lot more, you see a lot more of these big guys move with quick feet. You see them bang heads like that. This isn't the push and shove, old-fashioned Greco-Roman type heavyweights that we're seeing nowadays. You see Brian Gerardo's trying to pass the elbow a little bit, and yeah, he's taking ground up there, but he's snapping the head, reaching for the leg, trying to pick it up.
Yes, it's, the sport has evolved so much at all weights, but especially at the upper weights, because wrestlers' center of gravity has changed so much in these bigger guys because the weight room has become everybody's best friend. And so it used to be wherever the shoulders went, the rest of the body went. Now, because of the great strength that these guys put in their lower bodies, they can kind of lean a lot further forward than they were able to do in the typical days when it was just called heavyweight.
Yeah, Gerardo's doing a good job trying to fight an angle, but El's doing a good job really not kind of caving to some of his, collar ties and snap downs. We're scoreless after the first period here. Gerardo doing a good job taking ground, not able to convert on some of his offensive attacks. Let's see what he's got going here in the second. He'll start down.
Gerardo had a very nice football season for the Tigers this past fall.
Valley football, always some of the state's best teams routinely year in and year out. They struggled a little bit this year, but it looked like they had found a groove, and then they were that team that just unfortunately they ran into a positive COVID-19 case within the program right before the state quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I also cover football for the Register, and I'll tell you what, to see them matched up against Dowling and then that game not happen because of that reasoning, I was pretty bummed. I was very bummed.
Right. We found out in school, and just an email you don't ever want to read.
Absolutely. These teams doing a pretty good job as far as I know. I know I've only heard of a handful of schools, wrestling programs at least, that have had to pause because of COVID-19 situations or
I was talking to Coach Young about that before his season kind of got started. The guys that they had to be quarantined, it happened when Valley and Urbandale weren't in school, when they were 100% online. And so I asked both squads, how's the descent rate? How's that working for you guys? Because, you got to be pretty smart about how you cut weight throughout the season. And I was talking to Coach Dyer about it for one of the assistants at Valley, and he said, with guys being home, they came into the season, they managed their weight in November and December, not a lot of weight cut now that the season has started.
Excellent takedown there from Brian Gerardo. Just excellent patience there, I thought. He was able to finally get to that snatch single, picked it up there on the edge, and showed great patience there before finally finding a way to finish. And now he's here. We're under 5 seconds left here in this second period. He wants to keep the shutout rolling into the third and does a great job covering legs there. He'll take a 3-0 lead into the third period.
Nice job on getting the takedown. And then when Else was able to get to his feet, Gerardo had to bring him back to the mat. Otherwise, you get called for stalling.
Yeah.
Did a great job just dumping him back down with that low single.
Would have been very easy there to, maybe just give the escape and start fresh on your feet with just a few, not many ticks left there in the second period, but good credit to Gerardo for maintaining his balance, maintaining his patience, and finishing that. And 3-0 going into the third sounds a lot better than 3-1, I'll tell you what.
And feels a lot better. Al's doing a nice job trying to create some space to maybe get Gerardo's hips off of his. But Gerardo doing a great job covering. He's really working that side as he now has the 2-on-1 and a deep waist.
Here he comes working wrists now, getting out to the side now that he's got Else flat and trying to run a half. He's got his arm under. He's got the opposite wrist. He probably really likes where he's at. But can he finish the job? Just horsepower him on over. And this could be a long minute and a half or so for Els to try and hang on. Let's see Gerardo can show more patience to kind of settle in here. Could see 6 more points for Valley coming up.
Yes, and the settling in is the key here, because you don't want to go so fast that they roll through.
There's the pin, and 5:02 for senior Brian Gerardo. 6 more points for the Valley Tigers. They're going to take a 24-3 lead into the other half of the lineup. When we come back, we're on CISN TV, Valley and Urbandale Wrestling. We will be right back in just a moment.
Chevy bonus cash, plus GM card bonus cash, plus Conquest cash, plus you can redeem your unused cyber cash at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. And we have new inventory arriving daily. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
Welcome back to Valley High School in West Des Moines. CISN TV, Cody Goodwin here with Coach Keith Borness. Valley Tigers wrestling Urbandale tonight, and it has been all Tigers so far. All bonus point wins, really, for the Tigers. 182, we got a pin from Jack McCabe at 195, and open for the Tigers. 220, Jay Cooley gets a pin for the Tigers. 285, Brian Gerardo gets a pin for the Tigers. And now at 106, Nick Van Arkel accepts another forfeit. And now we're up to 113, Dylan Falacaro versus Stephen Bowie from Urbandale. Valley up to a 30-3 lead. If you're Travis Young down there, you got to be pretty happy with what you've seen so far. Not just because of the scoreboard, but because of the bonus points the Tigers have been able to roll up.
Absolutely. And they talk about it. People say, well, it's wrestling. It's not like a team sport with basketball or football is. They have their team meetings, and they say, here are the things that we need to do to be successful tonight. And the gaining of bonus points. It's one thing to go out and win. It's another thing to go out and score those extra points that you need, because if you can do that during the season, you start forming habits of a win isn't good enough. And that's when guys start to become really good in wrestling.
Well, and you mentioned, the team aspect of these things, and, it's easy to, in a dual setting to understand that, right? As Stephen Boye gets a reversal there after giving up the takedown, it's 2-2. We're only a minute into the first period. You mentioned the team aspect of it. Very easy to see in a dual setting, right? We have Valley, we have Urbandale, whoever wins. It makes sense. But then when you think about it in the postseason, right, with the district tournament and the state tournament ultimately coming up, and bonus points like that matter from a team perspective, and the where you place in the tournament matters from a team perspective, because that's how team trophies are divvied out at the state tournament, right? That's how there is a team aspect to it, maybe if it even doesn't appear so. And wrestling's kind of a weird sport that way, but that matters.
Absolutely. And when you start getting into that state tournament, it's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th place finishes that are key. And that's why when you see teams like Polk year in and year out getting 10 and 11 guys down to the state tournament, they don't have 10 and 11 state champs. They might have 1, 2, possibly 3 guys that are state champs, but the rest of those guys wrestle above their seed. And that's the habit you want to start forming in even in duels here. You wrestle above your seed when you start getting bonus points. And when you can take that mentality and back to the practice room, your practices get better. When you can take that to the mat, your wrestling gets better. When you can take your team to the a district regional meet for like dual teams, that's when it matters. You take it into the qualifying for state and the state meet, that's when those things matter. And so that is what is happening tonight. We're seeing Valley working on bonus points and maybe some more here.
Yeah, Dylan Falacaro. We may have a swap here. Ref's holding 2. Good job there from Falacaro to hang on to the head. 2 more back points there for Falacaro. It's a 7-2 lead now. He scored the first takedown. Bowie got a reversal. Then Falacaro went escape takedown again before the end of the first. Was able to lock up a cradle for 2, but Bowie again with another reversal. 7-4 now. Pretty exciting match here at 113 pounds.
Absolutely. Corey Hunter is the official tonight that's calling these matches, and he did a really nice job there, as you said, just holding that in position while Falacaro still had control of the head. Sometimes officials kind of get a little anxious to say, oh, there's a reversal. Oh, no, there wasn't. And he just stayed real calm and did a nice job. Awarded the points that needed to be awarded.
Yeah, excellent stuff there from the referee. Excellent stuff there from Stephen Bowie to score the reversal. And, he's still in this match, 7-4, even though Falacaro, a couple of takedowns, was able to lock up the cradle there. Looked like he may be in danger, but good hips, good strength overall there from the freshman, Stephen Boy from Urbandale.
Well, Falacaro is in his descent pattern right now, as he was originally slated to wrestle at 120 tonight, but has made his way down to 113. And with that, Nate Bierma, who is ranked 5th at 113, has moved up to wrestle 120.
We're down 15 seconds left here in the second period. Dylan Falacaro up and out again. This is kind of how the first period went. He was able to escape, score a quick takedown before the end of the period. Another takedown here for Falacaro would go a long ways toward maybe potentially more bonus points. Stephen Boy in on a shot, and that will end the period. Dylan Falacaro taking an 8-4 lead into the third here at 113 pounds.
I certainly don't want to jinx anything, but to this point, this is a kind of a testament to the coaching staffs of both teams. We haven't seen any stalling.
That's a good point. We have not seen stalling.
Both teams, their wrestlers are going out and giving everything. There really hasn't been any time in a match tonight where you can legitimately see, oh, he's stalling. They're doing a great job and competing hard.
Well, and that's we've mentioned, Travis Young has been at Valley for quite some time now. Tremendous coach, tremendous program, 24 years, right? Mike Moreno, 23rd year coaching, 14th at Urbandale. Mentioned earlier how he took some time off, and now he's back again. These are two coaches that have been around the block, right? Over 700 career dual wins between these guys. There's a clasping call there on Falacaro, trying to keep Bowie in bounds, and that'll be a point for Bowie, make it 10-5 here as we got a minute 15 left. But, these are two guys that, they know how to build programs, right? They know how to coach their wrestlers to constantly be on the attack, constantly moving forward, looking to score the next point. And, that's an excellent point that you made, because, this is the 7th match of the duel tonight. We're halfway through, not a single stall call. And granted, we've seen 2 opens in the first 7 bouts. But that's, if you're a fan of wrestling, you got to be loving the action you're seeing here, knowing that both guys are going at it at every weight.
Absolutely. And Falacaro, that was the first penalty point we've seen tonight.
So not only great active wrestling, but clean active wrestling. 3 more points there for Falacaro. Those were 3 big points there, Coach, because that makes it 13-5, 8-point lead. 40 seconds still left in this match, but he is in line, if he continues wrestling this way, for a major decision, more bonus points for the Tigers.
Absolutely, and that is one of the things that Coach Young said beforehand. If we're going to win tonight, we need to win the matches we need to win. We need to extend the lead with bonus points, but the key is just going out and wrestling hard like we expect you should.
Dylan Falacaro looking for more. Got 1 swipe, but that was it. And you nailed it. I mean, you look at, Urbandale was able to get a win to start the night, 170 pounds. Mason Sherwood, 6'3" over Chase Hutchinson. But since then, 3 pins for Valley. And now what looks like it's going to be a major decision for Dylan Falacaro at 113 pounds. That makes the team score 34-3. And we're halfway in. If you're Travis Young, you'd be pretty happy with this start so far, right?
Absolutely. Now, Nate Bierma is ranked in 2 different ranking organizations. He's ranked 10th by The Predicament. He's ranked 5th by IA Wrestling, but he's wrestling up. And so this could be a swing match. Bierma's going to have to come out. He's not at 100% right now. So we'll kind of see. He's off to a great start.
Excellent. Some fireworks there, not just getting to the leg, but picking it up, and nice little kick out there for the finish. And he's looking for points pretty quickly there on the edge. He may run out of room.
And he's did a nice job pulling him back on there. He got his hips back to where they needed to be.
And he hung onto the bar. Let's see if he runs this here. Nate Bierma, just a sophomore, very talented sophomore. The ref's going to stop that one. We'll restart in the middle. And I'll tell you what, just looking at Nate Bierma right now, and we hope Aiden Doria is okay.
Yeah. Valley trainer coming out to take a look here.
Oh, man, hate to see injuries at any point in time, but especially in a season like this where, especially for both of these programs, opportunities to compete have been few and far between because of COVID, because of their various protocols that both of the schools have had to go through. Kind of looks like it's just a cramp at the moment, so we're hoping it stays that way. He's able to come back and finish this match. Looked like it may have been a shoulder earlier. I was really worried there for a second.
I was nervous about that as well. But, yes, you can actually see that calf muscle really tightening up. And, that sometimes happens, trying to maintain your weight and make it through the day. Sometimes you don't get as much water intake as you had hoped to be able to get into, and then you get the weigh-ins, and then you can start drinking more water. And sometimes that's just a little bit too late. So he's back up, but that calf muscle still looks tight.
We're going to cut injury time, go back neutral. 2-0 Nate Bierma with a quick takedown, was trying to work for a turn. He's back in on a leg. Nice cutoff there to a double. 4-0 lead now for Nate Bierma. And as I was saying before we stopped to stretch his calf, Nate Bierma ranked at 113 pounds. Looks like we might have another calf cramp. Or maybe we have a clock issue. I'm not sure.
Regardless, the calf is being stretched again.
Yeah, Aiden Doria, sophomore, 10-4. Good start to the season and good performance so far of what Urbandale has been able to compete at. Nate Bierma, though, 10-2. We're saying ranked 5th at 113 pounds, but he looks like he's a pretty good size 120 right now, just looking at him tonight. He's a pretty big kid, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Not sure what the official is trying to fix down there on the clock. Clock's now back to 1:19. We were closer to a minute before we stopped, so maybe it was just a timing issue. All right, let's wrestle.
Nice attempt there to switch, but Bierma doing a great job holding that arm.
Yeah, good switch attempt, but better follow from Bierma. And he's got that bar arm again. That's what he was trying to work before Doria's leg cramped up the first time. He's back to that sit out. He really likes that. Now he's up. Good job again from Bierma just to follow. Man, he is a hammer on top, isn't he?
He's got a tilt going. He's got the hips elevated. He's just got to get that shoulder down.
Good stuff there from Doria, able to keep his elbow on the ground and not go 90 degrees. Escape there from Doria should make it 4-1. Scoreboard says it's 2-1. I'm a little confused. We got less than 40 left in the first period.
Well, you know how computers are sometimes. The keys they don't always work all the time.
Well, I'm a wrestling nut, so I'll keep it in my head until somebody tells me different. Whoa, excellent collar tie there from Bierma to make Doria go flat. Can he capitalize on it? A little bit of Greco action there from Bierma. Scores another takedown, his third of the match. Scoreboard says 4-1. Our head says 6-1. We'll roll with it. Good ride there from Bierma. 3 takedowns there in the first period. He'll take a 6-1 lead into the second.
Bierma really doing a great job when he's on top. Not, everybody thinks that you always have to have that down pressure. Well, it's not down as much as it is forward pressure to keep that balance where the bottom wrestler is always trying to move back or trying to keep himself off the mat. Bierma doing a great job just keeping that down forward pressure going. And Doria had to work hard to get to where he's at. Now Bierma trying to put on a takedown clinic.
Looks like it, yeah. He was able to bring Doria right back up, and he might be smelling blood down there on the mat. He's right back in on another shot. Cuts across to a double. Makes it 10-2 by our score. They say 8-2 on the main scoreboard here. I'm not sure who to believe, but...
Yeah, I don't either. There's only one score that Bierma's looking for right now.
And we'll stop here again. Potentially dangerous trying to run that bar.
Had it in tight, but that arm just
not tight enough.
Arm started to escape forward a little too much.
Bierma would like to go back to their feet, so Doria with another escape. And Bierma right back in on that head and that collar tie. And I'll tell you what, when you're coming in on collar ties like that, that wears on you. Bierma takes him feet to back there, gets two count on the near fall.
You know, it's amazing how many different initiating moves there are with outside single, high crotch, different things like that, that typically end up in a double leg. And Bierma has shown several tonight that have ended in that double leg.
Yeah, he's not afraid to, just kind of shoot in maybe on a sweep single, and then if Doria is able to square up, he's able to cut off into a double, or maybe he starts head outside and instead of swinging back out to pick the leg up, he cuts across again to a double. Excellent wrestling technique there when you're able to. And there it is again. He kind of goes head inside to a low single, but just the way that the motion went with Doria responding, he's able to pick it up for a double. And, how many takedowns are we up to now? 7 for Nate Bierma, and he's looking to take advantage of hanging onto that leg there.
Yes, regardless of if it's 14 or 12, it is a major right now.
Bierma again with that bar. He's going to try. He gets him that time.
Great job scooting his hips back as he felt him getting too far over.
Excellent job to maintain the tight waist. Trying to see if he can tilt him back over. 2 more near falls, 16-4 now. Nate Bierma's got the lead. He's going to try and run a half. He's going to hop over to the other side. There's the end of the second period. 16-4, Nate Bierma up at 120 over Aiden Doria as we head to the third.
I'm going to tell you, taking a look at Aiden Doria, pretty flexible fella.
Oh, yeah. That's
I think my shoulder would have been gone several times tonight.
And, there's another example there of Bierma just he shot in on what looked like a sweep, and because Doria was able to square up, just a real quick cutoff to a double. Another takedown there. He's up 18-5 now. One more takedown would end this in a technical fall. He cakes him off the mat. Minute 42 left. He's got plenty of time to try and set up this last takedown.
Nice arm pass there.
Excellent little slide by. Doesn't quite finish the way he wants. Doria does a good job getting to the leg. Bierma squares up. Scoops the leg.
Now going to start working on the head.
And Doria lets go of the leg. Doria's not letting go of that leg.
He's not. Kind of in a fairly decent position, but he's got to make sure his head doesn't stay down there.
And Doria's kind of, I don't know what Bierma was trying to do there, but Doria's going to come out here for a takedown. 18-7 now. We got 50 seconds left. Bierma up and out, 19-7. Needs a couple of takedowns now, or maybe feet to back if he still wants the technical fall. Gets to a leg there. Go out of bounds. We'll restart. 36 seconds left.
Bierma has been in control of this match, and the score certainly shows that. But what the score doesn't show is just how physical Doria has been in this thing, too, as this is another great attempt at a takedown.
He's got both hands to the leg now. He's going to cut across to a double. Another takedown there for Aiden Doria. Excellent fight here, even though he might be a little outmanned on the scoreboard. 19-9 now as we get under 10.
And this is where that team aspect comes into play. Can I get it back under a major decision?
Won't be able to do that here, but a couple of third period takedowns holds off the technical fall. Nate Bierma does take the win, though. 19-9, 10 points as another major decision. Valley Tigers now up 38-3 on Urbandale as we head to 126 pounds.
At 126 for Urbandale.
Ezra Christensen working here at 126 pounds. He can also wrestle at 120. So Valley's got a lot of options in these lower weights and has been able to move people around. As Garrett Paul coming in, the freshman, 4-9 on the season for Urbandale.
Ezra Christensen and Nate Bierma both weighed in at 120, if we're reading the bout sheet correctly. Ezra bumps up to 26. He's going to wrestle Garrett Paul here. Good head ties from Paul to start. Christensen taking ground, trying to maybe set up his offense a little bit.
for those watching at home, stick around. We got some really good wrestling still to come. I'm looking forward to the 138-pound match, the 152-pound match, and the 160. So there's going to be some outstanding wrestling coming up yet.
Yeah, just coming into this duel, those were the three weights I really know I had circled as Christensen able to circle around there on the edge for a takedown, 2-0 lead, a minute left in the first period. Those were the three weights I had circled. Love that we're going to be able to end with those weights. 138 pounds coming up, Caleb German from Urbandale. He's going to wrestle Logan Stotts, a sophomore from Valley. 152, Turner Swick from Urbandale is going to wrestle Theron Castle, very talented freshman at 152 pounds there. And then we'll end at 160. Ranked matchup, Caleb Corbin, second ranked for Valley, against Casey Ross, ranked 12th from Urbandale. Right now, 126, 30 seconds left here in the first period. Ezra Christensen, a takedown there on the edge, has him up 2-0 on Garrett Paul. This is another one of those swing matches, but, you know, if you're Urbandale, you know, maybe not so much thinking about the team score as much as just trying to build a little bit of in-match momentum to hopefully lead to a win to, you know, try and stop this Valley avalanche, right? Because Urbandale, again, able to get the first win at 170, but since then, you know, Valley's racked up, you know, 3 pins, a couple of major decisions, and took advantage of a couple of opens in the Urbandale lineup. And, you know, what was once 3-0 Jayhawks is now, you know, the score right now 38-3. Just kind of looking for any bit of momentum, right, to just try and maybe build something a little bit going into these next few matches.
Absolutely. You know, both teams have guys that they depend on. And, you know, Coach Young was talking earlier about what he's looking forward to, what he needs out of his guys this season is he's got several seniors and sophomores and freshmen that are kind of dominating the lineup right now, sprinkling a junior or two. But what he needs is those seniors to step up and lead and for the other guys to follow suit. Urbandale, on the other hand, they just don't have the full lineup yet. They don't, Marino was talking about not having quite all of the balance he needs to be competitive for Central Iowa Wrestling, but it's coming. And so we're seeing that tonight. But the guys that are on his team right now that they do depend on, those guys wrestle a lot harder, a lot freer, a lot more excited when the guys that haven't been as successful have success in the meet that you're in. And so, you know, if Urbandale, as you said, can get a couple of matches here, those guys that you always lean on, they get more excited. They get revved up and ready to go because both of the guys ranked for Urbandale, they're going against ranked guys.
Absolutely. And you see that a little bit in spurts, right? Mason Sherwood able to score a takedown in the third period to win his match at 170. Aiden Doria looked like it might be a Nate Bierma technical fall. He comes back with a couple of takedowns there. So you see it in spurts here. But like you said, just kind of, you know, maybe struggling to fill out an entire lineup sheet. And then at that, once you're able to kind of get all the numbers in order, then you can really start to kind of build, you know, the technique and the, you know, the overall mental toughness of a program. And, you know, right as we say that, a nice little reversal there for Garrett Paul after giving up a couple of back points. You know, or it looked like it may have been a couple of back points, but maybe not. And now he's working on a cradle here, Garrett Paul. 4-2 deficit now, but he's going to work here. And I'll tell you what, riding out here these final few seconds in the second period, that's got to have him feeling pretty confident going into the third, even though he's down 4-2.
Absolutely. And you know what the camera, what you watching at home, what you're not seeing are the benches. You know, right as that reversal happens, Urbandale's bench, they're up on their feet ready to go. They're getting excited because this is one of those matches that they feel is a swing match. And it's tight, 4-2. So with 1:50 to go, it is still anybody's match.
Absolutely, yeah. That reversal there near the end of the second and then be able to holding him down coming into the third. Wonder where his confidence level is at. Ezra Christensen coming in, keeping his head in the hole, scoring another takedown. That'll make it 6-2. We got about 90 seconds left here in this third period, and that was an excellent response there after what was a good end of the second period there for Garrett Paul. Garrett Paul, he's got the leg, though, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, Christensen was a little bit in a bad spot, but able to get his hips back around.
I'll tell you what, these Valley lightweights really like running that bar, don't they? That's tight. There's the pin. 4 minutes and 49 seconds there for Ezra Christensen. More bonus points for the Valley Tigers. That's their 4th pin tonight, Coach.
It is, and it's happening in some of these swing matches. And now we're going to come into another potential swing match with Cole Sonnenberg, 3-7 on the year, sophomore, going against Jackson Klusner, is 1-3, but he's a junior.
Another matchup here at 132 pounds. All Tigers so far, all of the contested matches that they have had that the Tigers have won, all by bonus points. Very impressive showing here for the Tigers tonight. Hasn't been without fight, though, from their Urbandale counterparts. We've seen it in small spurts here. We thought we may have seen another one there, but Ezra Christensen had other plans, able to run that bar all the way over for the pin there in the 3rd period. Now we're up to 132. Only a handful of matches left, but we got some good ones upcoming here between West Des Moines Valley. And there's a nice little takedown there. Almost, not quite a takedown. Looked like he was close to it.
Yeah.
Good awareness there from Sonnenberg to keep circling, and they rolled out of bounds. We'll restart at the center.
Cole Sonnenberg, I was watching him wrestle last year and talked to him before he was going over to Dowling to wrestle a ranked wrestler over there. And I said, hey, how you feeling about tonight? He goes, I have a great opportunity. That's all he said.
You got like a mindset that the kid has like that, right?
That's right.
Excellent patience finish and takedown there for Jackson Klusner. He'll take a 2-0 lead. Back to the center, 47 seconds left in this 1st period.
I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but Cole Sonnenberg was a ball boy for the Valley football team forever.
Was he really?
And back when Cole Hahn and some of those guys were kicking off, and there were so many touchbacks.
So that was a busy guy.
Busy guy. He had more return yards than anybody in the state, and he was in 5th grade.
So this is a guy that has been around these Valley athletic programs for quite some time. So you got to think he's probably really excited about the many opportunities. He might have one here near the end of the 1st period. Flipped over, has the leg. Let's see what he can do with it here. We got 5 seconds left. I'm not sure he's able to finish the reversal, but good fight there near the end here of the 1st period.
Absolutely. Klusner doing a great job with his left arm, just making sure that anytime Sonnenberg has an opportunity to do something, he's able to pull him off balance, and Sonnenberg just couldn't finish.
Sonnenberg's going to take down. He got ridden out there final minute of the 1st period, but he probably felt good after that sequence near the end. He's going to try and score an escape here to start the 2nd. 2-0 lead for Klusner. We're at 132 pounds here between Urbandale and West Des Moines Valley.
Good tight waist there by Klusner.
Doing a good job of keeping Sonnenberg's hips flat. And as we say that, Sonnenberg's able to kind of hip out and square up, and they roll out of room. So we'll go back to the center. Minute 40 left in the 2nd period. Excellent first move there from Klusner. He's got the wrist, maybe trying to lock up some bar, but hey, give Sonnenberg credit. Keeping his hips square, continuing to build a base on bottom. That's if you're a guy on top and you can't keep your guy flat, that's frustrating.
It is. And Sonnenberg, he's a little bit unorthodox in some of the things that he does as well. So many times you're always telling your wrestler, you got to keep your head up. Don't put your head down on the mat. Well, people that have followed Sonnenberg have seen him put his head down, then all of a sudden somebody gets it almost uses it as bait, and then Sonnenberg's either up and out or has a reversal on it. Not sure if he's able to do that with Klusner. Klusner's got a little bit more strength on him.
Klusner, some good strength and some good technique so far. This has been a pretty good ride with 45 seconds left here in the 2nd period. Just doing a good job staying behind the hips, but as we say that, Sonnenberg up and out as they roll out of bounds. 2-1 now with 40 seconds left here in the 2nd period. Talk about exciting opportunities. Cole Sonnenberg's got one here if he can find a way to score a few more points here before the end of the 2nd. Not quite the best shot there. And Klusner a little bit with some good speed there, some good hand fighting. has him in position potentially. Sonnenberg doing a good job hanging on to that leg. Now he's got two hands to it. That was a pretty mean little return there, and another takedown there for Klusner. A big one, too, with only 10 seconds left here in the second period.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is so frustrating as well. Giving up points at the end of a period. There's just no way you can respond to it.
Well, I tell you what, my high school wrestling coach, he referred to the final 20, 30 seconds of every period, as the red zone. And so when we're out there wrestling and we're not paying attention to the clock, we hear red zone from the corner. That's our cue to get on our horse and try and score some points, because, if you score points in the final 30, 20, 10 seconds of a period, really hard for your opponent to try and respond, and that's some good momentum taken into the next period, right?
Absolutely.
4-1 lead here for Jackson Klusner as we enter the third. Klusner starting down. A couple of takedowns, the difference here. Sonnenberg going to get his go on top.
Nice job on that cross body breakdown. Klusner just kind of gave up on it, and so Sonnenberg just kind of gave up on it.
Klusner now up and out, 5-1 lead.
This is that area where Sonnenberg, he never gives up in a match anytime. And so if Klusner doesn't pin him, this is actually where Sonnenberg can become dangerous.
Oh, and as you say that, he tries to lock up a headlock. He's going to run out of room there, but Klusner doing a good job of just kind of sinking his hips to avoid giving up the two there, but Sonnenberg, right as you were talking about, very dangerous there with that headlock. That could be a 5-point move, and that would absolutely change the dynamic of this match.
Klusner being real heavy on that head. It is one of those tough things where you burn up so much energy just moving somebody else that is constantly on you. If you're underneath and you're moving your weight and his, that makes for a long night.
It does. Sonnenberg gets in on a really good shot, but Klusner comes back with even better defense, able to break the lock, square his hips, able to spin around for two. He's got a 7-1 lead here. We got 30 seconds left in this match.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with Klusner on this. You take a look at it and you say, well, he's 1-3. Well, to show some of the depth, not necessarily in full lineups, but in specific weights that both schools have. You got guys wrestling off against each other all the time. He's only had 4 opportunities to wrestle varsity tonight. We don't know what he's done, JV or things like that.
Absolutely. He gets the win here tonight. 7-1 win there for Jackson Klusner at 132 pounds. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back with some really fun ones starting at 138. You're listening to CISN TV, CIML Wrestling. We'll be right back.
Chevy bonus cash, plus GM card bonus cash, plus Conquest cash, plus you can redeem your unused cyber cash at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. And we have new inventory arriving daily. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
Welcome back to Valley High School, CISN TV. Cody Goodwin here with Coach Keith Borness. Some CIML wrestling on Thursday night. West Des Moines Valley, huge lead over the Urbandale Jayhawks. 44-6 is the team scores. We're at 138 pounds now. Only a handful of matches left, but these last few matches are going to be good ones here, and we got a really fun one here at 138 pounds between Caleb German from Urbandale and Logan Stotts from West Des Moines Valley.
Caleb German is a returning state qualifier from last year, 9-3 on the season. Logan Stotts, for the Valley faithful, you certainly recognize the Stotts name, as there's been a few Stotts boys come through and wrestle in the past. So
I was going to say, when you hear the Stotts name here in West Des Moines, there is some pedigree there, where he's got a couple of older brothers that not only good at the high school level but have made their way to wrestle collegiately, Division I at Iowa State. Logan Stotts actually got the nod to wrestle for the Cyclones not too long ago. So,
all right.
So Logan Stotts here, just a sophomore, 8-5 overall. Again, both of these squads, just not a lot of matches with the pandemic and some various protocols that both schools have had to go through. But 8-5, maybe not the most intimidating record, but I mean, this is a guy that's kind of been in and out of the state rankings at 138 pounds, and very game wrestler, and he obviously comes from a wrestling family, so you know he's going to be in it all the way to the end, right?
Right, and when you take a look at the different organizations that rank, there's one organization doesn't have him ranked at all. Another organization has him ranked at number 7. So regardless, this has the potential to be the premier match of the night.
Caleb German, junior, 9-3, ranked 8th by IA Russell at 138 pounds. This could be, I mean, you mentioned opportunities earlier, right? Talking about the Cole Sonnenberg match at 132 pounds. That one went to Jackson Klusner from Urbandale, but just talking about having the opportunity, right? And this seems like it's a pretty good opportunity for both wrestlers, but especially for a guy like Logan Stotts, who's kind of, you know, maybe been in and out of the rankings a little bit, maybe just trying to find a little bit of consistency. A win over here over a really good wrestler in German could, you know, do very well when it comes to maybe district seeding and other tournament seeding down the road, but especially maybe for his confidence as we end here, head into January, early February, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And even German could be saying the same thing. You know, I'm in a pretty good spot here. I've broken into the rankings. I want to get back to the state meet. A win over a Stotts could kind of set me into that situation as well.
German strikes first here. We had a scoreless first, and German up and out less than 10 seconds into the second period for a 1-0 lead. And I'll tell you what, the one thing, again, going back to the, you know, one of the last times I got to see West Des Moines Valley was when they wrestled Southeast Polk, a very, very good Southeast Polk team this year, as they are every year. But, you know, Logan Stotts was able to get his hands on Carter Martinson, who's one of the better wrestlers in the state at 138 pounds. And Logan Stotts continuing to circle, great motor there. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I was about to mention was that, you know, he does a really good job trying to set up shots, but maybe doesn't always pull the trigger. Able to pull the trigger there. Just real mean snap down, and just an excellent motor there to keep circling, score behind for 2. And now he's up 2-1 here. We're not even midway through the second period yet.
Right. You know, the Stotts boys, as they kind of came through the system, they all were on the smaller size of things, but they all played linebacker as well. And so they're not afraid of contact.
I was going to say, you got to have a little bit of an attitude and a little bit of a mean streak. You're going to play linebacker for West Des Moines Valley, right?
Especially at 110 pounds.
We've crossed the minute mark here in the second period. Logan Stotts, a takedown here in the second period, has him up 2-1 on Caleb German. And he's doing a good job riding here, just keeping German flat and applying pressure kind of into his middle back area as he's maybe working wrist, trying to lock up some sort of hold here, but we're going to get a stall call. That's the first stall call of the duel, Coach.
First one of the night, and you could see it setting up, because what the ref wants Stotts to do is start working out to the side toward that pinning combination. And German just doing such a fantastic job not allowing that position to happen.
Did an excellent job just staying parallel, as they say, but off the restart, German again up and out, and it's 2-2 now. Big escape there for Caleb German. We got about 15 seconds left here in the second period. It took us 11 matches to get a first stall call. That is the sign of usually a very active, very physical, very good wrestling duel, especially at the high school level.
Absolutely. Now we have that whizzer that German had on there. You know, as the aggressor, you put that arm around somebody's back and that whizzer comes in, you're not always 100% sure how comfortable you are anymore.
Some guys are really comfortable there because maybe they trust their hips a little bit more. Some guys immediately like to try and circle or fight their way out of it to try and square back up and maybe set something else up, right?
Absolutely. Stotts in the down position, going to be trying to work his way up and get the escape to get a 1-point lead. But German, a great job stopping that first move, that initial move by Stotts.
Doing a good job kind of hanging out there behind the ankles a little bit, and he too is staying parallel but applying pressure on the back there. Looks like he's trying to work his way out to maybe try and lock up some sort of lock. Not sure exactly. Hard to see what exactly he's working on here. Maybe right. Wrist, and now there's another stalling.
Yeah. He was in the same position that Stotts was in, so now they both have a warning against them.
And that'll loom large considering it's 2-2 here. We got 90 seconds left here in this third period. We're going to have to see a little bit more action than what we just saw if we're going to see a winner in this match. German, again, doing a good job just following hips as Stotts able to build his base and get up and out. not all the way out, but he's able to square up there for what's going to probably be a 3-2 lead. We got 1:10 left.
Now there is definitely somebody in the lead. Usually at this point, the guy that's in the lead wants to try and preserve that lead, and the guy that's not isn't that, I got nothing to lose. And
you look at this match specifically, 1-point match, both guys have a stall call. You can't just stop wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to keep going all the way to the end.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see what happens here. 40 seconds left. German down 3-2. Logan Stotts, a takedown in that second period, the difference so far. Let's see if that's enough to be the difference here. Shot met by Logan Stotts' head and hands defense, first line of defense.
And Stotts is the one that has the takedown. The lone takedown of the night has come from Stotts. So we'll see how things finish up here.
Stotts doing a really good job just staying square. German trying to slide by, tried to elbow off there. Stotts doing a good job tying up. We're down to 6 seconds left, and he throws a dump in. But it looks like he's going to hang on to the leg there and win this one 3-2. An excellent win for the sophomore Logan Stotts, 3-2 over Caleb German.
And neither one of those guys, yes, there's disappointment because he didn't get the win. But both of those guys wrestled a complete match. Wonderful job. They have split in the past. We're going to see some great battles from them the rest of the way through.
Excellent match there from Logan Stotts. A takedown in the second period. The difference there, 3-2 win over Caleb German, returning state qualifier, currently ranked 8th at the weight by IA Russell. Maybe we'll see Logan Stotts in the next set of rankings. We'll see. We're going to bump up to 145 now. That is Valley's A.J. Burrell, I believe was the name I heard.
Yep,
and then
A.J.
for Urbandale, Gabe Carver here, just a freshman at 145. Usually a weight you don't see many freshmen at, but here he is. 9-5 so far, pretty strong freshman campaign. A couple of freshmen here. A.J. Burrell also a freshman for Valley.
Oh, I have that wrong. He's actually quite a bit older. I think he's a junior.
Carver coming in. Looked like he was going to circle around, but then Burrell able to kind of pop his hips and drive forward. What looked like 2 for Carver ends up being 2 for Burrell. We're about a minute into the first period here at 145 pounds.
Burrell doing a nice job. Solid deep waist there, just keeping that pressure on. When you take a look at it, it doesn't look like you have anything on, but a good tight deep waist prevents people from going anywhere.
Can make it a little tough to breathe too if you've got the right grip on it. Carver able to kind of break the grip there. Good hand control to get up and away. 2-1 now. 30 seconds left here in this first period. That was a nice little exchange there. Carver trying to set up a sweep to the left side. Burrell ready for it, steps out of it. Good wrestling so far here in this first period. Carver again. Good defense and kind of a re-attack there, but Burrell ready for it. Good action here in this first period. Burrell will take a 2-1 lead into the second. 145 pounds, only 3 matches left. Valley Tigers have this team score well in hand, up 47-6. When you have the team score in hand and you've got some pretty good individual matchups coming up here, you got to think you're probably just, looking for individual accomplishments as you're coming down to these final few matches, right?
Well, yes. And we're coming into the heart of Valley's lineup here with Theron Castle coming up next. Castle is an extremely talented kid as a freshman. He's tough as nails. In fact, I don't remember many kids coming through the junior high system and making his presence known at the varsity level as well as he has. He is just, I'm going to call him tough as nails. Whether he wins or loses, it's going to be a battle.
Absolutely. We'll see him up next. But here, midway through the second period, Gabe Carver's able to strike on a takedown that maybe wasn't able to get there in the first period. Now he's got a 3-2 lead, and he's got Burrell pretty flat there in the center of the mat. But,
when Burrell was down there, if you could see out in front of him how he had his hands, had his thumbs up so that way it's harder to control the hands from the top position when the bottom guy has those hands, those thumbs up and away from each other. Burrell being able to maybe even start pushing his way back into that referee's position.
Subtle techniques there help Burrell, and some good hip action has him up and out, and we're going to be tied 3-3 with 45 seconds left here in the second period. Carver did get hit with a stall call, and off the restart is where Burrell was able to get up and out. Now Burrell trying to hang on to that elbow, going in for a shot. Carver ready for it, looking for maybe a reattack of his own. Burrell squares up, 30 seconds left.
A lot of action. Burrell, one of those cusp wrestlers. He's been in the varsity lineup. He's been out of the varsity lineup, but has an excellent opportunity here tonight as he's back in that lineup and really doing a great job. One of these toss-up matches here that on paper could go any direction, and both guys out there wanting it to go theirs.
Lots of really good chain wrestling, just one technique to the next. Yeah. Somebody shoots, defends, tries to set up his attack, they defend, and, has good back and forth so far. It's 3-3 going into the third. Very even match. Yeah. Burrell's going to start here on top.
Hips are a little high. You better get that leg hooked in. Attempted at it.
Looks like he's able to reset there. Tries to get back to a tight waist and a wrist. Carver doing a good job of just kind of maintaining that base tripod type stance there from bottom. Goes to a sit out, but Burrell has the wrist, and Carver now has up to a leg, trying to snake his way through to maybe a reversal. Watch the knee, ref, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There it is. And we'll see if Burrell is still awarded control there, which I think he is.
We don't need to see any injury worse than the calf stretch that we saw at 120 pounds. Aiden Doria looked like it could have been worse. Instead, he just stretched out his calf for a minute, and now we're back to it. We're midway here through the third period. Burrell able to survive that sequence, and now he's back doing a good job of just trying to stay behind Carver's hips. Carver to his feet now. Burrell, a little bit of an unorthodox return, but he's able to return, and Carver, good hip action there to just kind of float over and gets a reversal. Now he's got a 5-3 lead with 45 seconds left.
Yeah, Burrell now just going to try and get some things going here, but Carver with the legs hooked in. Burrell's going to have to get, they want him to swim with his arms up to try and get that head and pull it back underneath, but Carver doing a nice job stopping that.
Good balance, good stuff there from Carver, just able to recover. He snuck a boot in on the far left side. I'm not sure if people can see that on the camera, and then was able to kind of work a half a little bit just to try and keep, Burrell off balance, and now he's able to recover. We have a stall call on bottom. Doesn't look like it's going to make much of a difference. That reversal might stand up as the match winner for Carver. He'll take this one 5-3 at 145 pounds. Great match, great action between these two guys.
Winning the decision, Gabe Carver.
Now we're up to 152 pounds. Freshman from Valley, the junior from Urbandale. 11-2 versus 3-10.
You mentioned Theron Castle, very talented freshman. We don't see a ton of freshmen. We see them every now and again, but we don't see a ton of freshmen up at some of these heavier weights. Watch the knee, please, ref. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you right now, if that would have gone bad and he ripped Castle's leg off, he'd have just called it a flesh wound and said, let's keep going. He's that tough.
Well, the phrase you used was tough as nails, and he's showing it so far. That was a pretty unorthodox situation, and right off the restart, here he is picking up a single leg. doing an excellent job showing patience, able to get the finish there on the edge. He's got a 2-0 lead, Theron Castle. Ranked 8th at the weight by I.A. Russell, 152 pounds. Again, just you don't see a ton of freshmen at bigger weights like this. You see a few of them every now and again, and you know, we saw a couple of special talents last year in the state finals at 160 pounds. Iowa City High's Ben Keeter against Linn-Mar's Tate Nakaborn, and you know, 2 freshmen at that weight class in the state finals. You don't see it very often. Theron Castle making his mark here, you know, a top 10 guy at this weight class as a freshman, doing a good job here as we enter the first minute into the first period.
Castle, he is on a football team, he plays linebacker and fullback, and you really couldn't tell what side of the ball he was on because he was going to hit you on either side.
Well, he's doing a good job just showcasing that physicality here. This is a really nice ride. He's got kind of a tight waist that, Turner Swick, a junior from Urbandale, maybe not even a tight waist. Looked like he was trying to work a bar arm.
Yeah.
But Swick doing a good job of just trying to keep his shoulder down and maybe keeping Castle off balance, but we'll restart in the center. 37 seconds left here in the first period.
Corey Hunter not happy with where things weren't going anywhere, so starting over here as Castle is getting the back exposed, but just not enough. Good solid deep waist here. Trying to work that claw.
Doing a good job of keeping Swick's hips flat. But as we've seen really kind of these last few matches, if he stays parallel for too long and doesn't try to work on something else, ref might hit him with a stall call. We got just a few seconds left here in the first period, and there he goes trying to apply pressure, getting out to the side.
Moved around just enough to avoid stalling.
Theron Castle, 2-0 lead going into the second period. Couple of final scores from around the CIML. If you guys are interested, Ankeny Centennial, big win over Mason City, 66-11, and their crosstown rival Ankeny, a 55-20 win over Marshalltown. So both the Ankeny schools scoring some pretty big victories tonight. West Des Moines Valley look like they're on their way. Theron Castle scores an escape. He's up 3-0 now, just 15 seconds into the second period. Turner Swick kind of drops his head a little bit on that shot. Maybe not exactly the shot he wanted. Castle trying to take advantage of it here.
Castle doing a nice job. Had that front headlock in, but just didn't have enough pressure to keep that head down and keep spinning around.
Doing a good job with that head and hands defense. Swick, well, he gets to the leg there. Had been struggling trying to get that in deep, and now Castle just looks like he's just trying to apply pressure there on Swick's head. We may see a stalemate here in a moment if nothing changes. Yep.
Nice job applying the pressure there by the hips on Castle.
It's a nice shot by Swick. He had been, trying to maybe set something up, was able to get to the leg that time, but Castle doing a good job of just trying to keep him extended and keeping his head down, wasn't able to come up and finish at all, and we got about 50 seconds left here in the second period. Castle up 3-0, takedown in the first, escape in the second. He's looking for more here now.
Oh, switching off there too.
And that was an excellent transition, able to pop his head out. He's got a 5-0 lead now. Nice little head outside shot, but as soon as Swick dropped that arm, he was able to grab the elbow and dump him over. Excellent finish there from the freshman.
Yeah, he's got a wrist and he's trying to get this arm bar.
Wasn't able to latch on to anything in the first period, just did a good job riding. Now it looks like he's getting out to the side. Maybe he likes what he's got now.
Trying to get that deeper. 10 seconds to go here in the second period. Castle doing everything he can to get a turn.
Not sure he's going to have any luck this time either, so he'll take a 5-0 lead into the third period. 152 pounds. Penultimate match here between West Des Moines Valley and Urbandale. Urbandale's won 2 of the last 3 matches, but it has been all Valley all night. 5 pins, a couple other major decisions. Big win for Logan Stotts at 138 pounds. A couple of opens against Urbandale. Some good individual matches, and we may have another one brewing here, although Theron Castle pretty much in command now at 5-0. 15 seconds into the third.
Castle had that front headlock again, but Swick doing a nice job getting that arm back and being able to come back up into neutral.
90 seconds left here in this match. Nothing super flashy about this match here. I'll tell you what, Castle, a couple of takedowns, has been trying to work that bar arm when they've been on the mat, but, you know, just good defense, good solid wrestling. Swick just, you know, just hasn't been able to kind of get into some finishing holds here, and we're sitting at 5-0 with 60 seconds left.
You know, and this is one of those places where, you know, Castle as a freshman, great wrestler, has wrestled a ton of matches in his career so far, but he still doesn't have all that varsity experience yet, and so sometimes this is where you get a little impatient because you want action, you want to keep building. Sometimes you force bad decisions, and Theron Castle did a fantastic job showing upperclassmen poise, having patience to still set up shots.
Absolutely. He's got a takedown in every period so far. 7-0, 36 seconds left. Kind of motioning over to the bench. Here's a match strategy question. You've won the battle on your feet all match. It's kind of what I thought might happen. Let him loose. Another takedown here would give him the major decision. He leads 7-1 with 30 seconds left, and he's right back in on another shot.
And a nice job just sucking that knee deep underneath his stomach. And
there's the takedown. Fourth takedown of the match for Theron Castle. 9-1 lead now. That's the major decision if this score holds. We got 10 seconds left. More bonus points for the Valley Tigers.
A job well done as we get set for the final match, and it's going to be a great match. Potential to be a great match.
Excellent final match of the night coming up here at 160 pounds. 4 more team points for the Valley Tigers. Bonus points all night.
At 160 for Urbandale, a junior, Casey Ross.
So we saw German wrestle earlier tonight. He is a returning state qualifier. Casey Ross, the other returning state qualifier from a year ago for Urbandale, ranked 12th, but he's got his hands full tonight.
Second-ranked Caleb Corbin for West Des Moines Valley. This is another one of those wrestling names that West Des Moines natives know very well. He's got an older brother, Caleb Corbin, who was a tremendous wrestler now at the University of Iowa, and Caleb Corbin, tremendous wrestler in his own right, state finalist on his resume, and quick takedown here for a 2-0 lead against Casey Ross. And not nearly as big as his older brother, but just as talented when you're looking at it from a pure wrestling standpoint.
Yeah, when Caleb was in 8th grade, he would always come in and just say, "Which one of you coaches wants to go tonight?" And it's not like we just volunteered. It wasn't high on our priority list.
Well, when you got a guy that big, you know, I know he finished his high school career wrestling 195.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent shot there from Caleb Corbin, and maybe even a better finish there to just kind of cut across and use momentum. He's got a 4-1 lead midway through the first period here, and you know, folks, this is a ranked matchup. Two guys who, you know, Caleb Corbin has been on the podium before. Casey Ross, another guy who's going to contend at a pretty tough weight again this year, you know, to try and finish on the podium at Wells Fargo Arena here next month. And, you know, a 4-2 lead now for Caleb Corbin. He's looking for more. You know, just kind of shows you a little bit of the difference here, right? You know, Caleb Corbin, probably a bona fide title contender. I think that's pretty safe to say. And Casey Ross, a guy that's, you know, I mean, he's going to be right there in that mix too. And 6-2 lead right now for Caleb Corbin, 20 seconds left in the first period. Excellent opening 2 minutes for the Valley senior.
Corbin is kind of in that situation here where when he's shooting that takedown, he's kind of like a tidal wave. You can see it coming, but you just can't get out of the way of it.
How do you stop that, right? I mean, you know, he may not be as big as his brother physically, but I mean, he is just as. That's a well-built kid. He probably spent a few nights in the weight room, right?
I'm saying just a few.
We head to the second period. 6-2 lead for Caleb Corbin. Trio of takedowns in the opening couple of minutes. He's going to start down here. A couple of really good records here. I know that we've mentioned multiple times neither of these programs have had a lot of matches so far. Caleb Corbin coming into tonight 13-0. Casey Ross 13-1. Very talented wrestlers so far this season. Caleb Corbin able to get up and out.
Yes.
Caleb Corbin right back in, even though he's on the edge. Let's try a slide by down to a shot. Runs out of room there, but we'll go back to the center. He's got a 7-2 lead now.
And you know what is frustrating about wrestling Caleb Corbin here is the fact that he doesn't get excited, doesn't get mad, doesn't do anything except just keeps wrestling.
Well, and you mentioned earlier talking, about Theron Castle in the 152-pound match just before this about, getting that varsity experience, getting that, experience of wrestling in bigger matches. Caleb Corbin has been there, right? I mean, he has won and lost on bigger stages than a Thursday night CIML duel, right? So, when he's able to get into a match like this against a very good Casey Ross, another takedown there makes it 9-2. He's going to be pretty level-headed, right? He's got the experience of having won and lost on bigger stages before, and he's very comfortable in a varsity setting like this. Absolutely.
And he's fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. He's absolute takedown clinic. He wants to go back on his feet. And the one thing that's been impressive about his 4 takedowns so far is just the variety of different attacks, right? Mm-hmm. He gets to a single leg, able to pick it up and finish. He's in on a single leg there again. See how he finishes here. He's been able to cut across. Earlier on the edge, he tried to slide by to try and drop to a double leg. Now he's picking up the single. We'll see how he finishes this one. Showing excellent patience here as Ross is trying to maybe hand fight and wiggle his way out of it. Trying to drop to the ankle. Instead goes to his knee.
And then just sits down with it.
Excellent patience there from Caleb Corbin. Just excellent stuff here. That makes it 11-3 now. That 8 points, we all know, major decision territory, bonus point territory now for Caleb Corbin.
And in the red zone.
In the red zone. Good point there, too. Being able to score that takedown near the end of the period. That's huge there for Caleb Corbin. He'll take this 11-3 lead into the third. He's feeling good on senior night here.
Ross a little bit frustrated there, but most of it with his headgear.
Caleb Corbin's like, nope, let's wrestle on our feet, my guy. Makes it 11-4 here as we enter the final 2 minutes of the night. 51-9 Valley lead. The Tigers will win tonight's duel. Caleb Corbin does a good job to a head outside single, cuts across to a double. Ross does a good job trying to stay square. Excellent patience and awareness there, I think, from Caleb Corbin, able to drop to his knees and finish that takedown. Leads now 13-4.
And, just a few years ago, that wouldn't have been a takedown because not enough appendages still in the circle to finish up. And same thing with a pin, You can pin somebody that's outside of the circle now. They've gone more to that college rule.
Yeah, where they kind of let you play on the edge a little bit more, and I like that. It makes the mat a little bit bigger, gives these guys a little bit more room to work with, and in the case there for Caleb Corbin, that absolutely paid off. And he looks like he's hunting for more here, as we only got about 70 seconds left here in this match. He wants to score more points. You're Travis Young. You're probably smiling underneath your mask right now.
Well, I know I would be.
Good stuff there from Casey Ross, able to kind of square up, hand fight a little bit, and, avoid the takedown there on the edge. A minute left. We're going to go back to the center.
Throughout the season, you always have those matches that are measuring matches. And this is a measuring match tonight for Casey Ross, as he is a top wrestler in the state of Iowa. He is. And he's going against one of the premier wrestlers in the state of Iowa. This time they wrestle, it's a little bit more of a gap than Casey Ross would have wanted. But now he's got something to look forward to. What's it going to be the next time we wrestle?
Yeah, if you're Casey Ross, you got your hands on this guy. You know what this guy feels like. You know how he moves. You know how he attacks. Now you can go back into the practice room maybe tomorrow before they go wrestle this weekend, and especially next week, you got things you can work on now. You know what this feels like. You know what one of the best kids in the state does, how he attacks, how he moves, how he feels. That's valuable experience to take back into the practice room to try and work a little bit as we, obviously here near the end of January and February, we know is the all-important postseason. So excellent experience to get here near the end of the season.
Everybody wants to have a good record, but, if you are going to falter in a match, you got to learn to fail forward and know where you're going to go with it next time.
Another takedown there for Caleb Corbin, a 17-6 major decision victory on senior night. Makes the final team score 55-9 for the Valley Tigers. We are going to take a quick break. We'll come right back to wrap up this duel here on CISN TV.
There's a reception in the cafeteria for
For 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Iowans know that winter means snow, ice, and freezing temps. Severe weather can make the roads downright dangerous. Truck Equipment Incorporated has the toughest work equipment that can stand up to the harshest conditions. Look for Western brand snowplows, quality you can count on. Buy new or utilize our repair services. We'll order new parts for same-day pickup or delivery. And now you can shop from home with our virtual showroom. Go to truckequipment.com.
Welcome back to Valley High School in West Des Moines. CISN TV bringing you CIML Wrestling on this Thursday night. Cody Goodwin here with Coach Keith Borness, wrapping up a very lopsided West Des Moines Valley victory, 55-9 over Urbandale. Tigers win 11 of the 14 matches, and key to victory tonight that you had mentioned earlier in the show, bonus points, winning the matches you were supposed to. Valley did that in bunches tonight. 4 pins, 4 major decisions, 2 accepted forfeits, and then a really big win at 138 pounds for Logan Stotts.
Yeah.
Just all Tigers all the way tonight.
It really was. And, the other thing about it was the fact that Coach Young said we can't give up bonus points either, and they didn't. So those swing matches, and there were some fantastic swing matches tonight that went Valley's favor. Urbandale has nothing to hang their head about because those swing matches, they were tight, and they could have just as easily gone the other way. But late in those periods, late in the matches, even though they were tight early on, Valley did get some bonus points with them just because the momentum was going their way. We all know bonus points don't come easy. And when they do, it's very exhilarating, and your teammates just thrive on that.
Absolutely. Lots of bonus points tonight for the Valley Tigers, like we said. 4 pins, a couple of opens, accepted forfeits, and a handful of major decisions. Last one, the punctuation mark on the night, Caleb Corbin, a 17-6 win over Casey Ross. Excellent match there to cap the night. A couple of other scores from around the area. Waukee able to thump Norwalk pretty good tonight, 51-18. Warriors, heck of a squad they got this year. The other team in the Metro to probably watch this season, as we do every year, Southeast Polk, lopsided win over Johnston. They were up 55-15 at last check. But it was the Tigers coming away victorious here in West Des Moines, 55-9 over Urbandale. Heck of a win for Travis Young and his squad as they're moving forward into, I believe both of these squads are going to be at Urbandale's Ed Winger tournament this weekend. That is always a fun competition.
It is, and Ed Winger, everybody knows who Ed Winger was, the great voice of the state wrestling tournament, and Urbandale puts on a great tournament there in honor of Ed. Both teams probably going to go in and wrestle very well. I do want to congratulate Coach Travis Young on his 412th victory in dual meets. He is the all-time leader in dual meets for Valley High School in their history of a wrestling program. Good luck to Urbandale as they continue on. Coach Marino, a class act guy as well. 300 wins, 700 wins between the two of them. That's just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Fun night tonight here on CISN TV. Thank you for joining in on the action with us. For Coach Keith Borness and everybody here at CISN TV, I'm Cody Goodwin. Thanks for tuning in tonight, CIML Wrestling. We'll see you again soon.